What's up dudes, Chooch back with another video, and today we're looking at this right here. I got a new unboxing for you guys and I think you're gonna like it. So this thing is absolutely sweet right here. It's a beast though. Woo! That thing is heavy, I'll tell you that. So this is the Inmotion V11 with a kickstand on it. Is that not sweet? So check that out, guys. Man, that's a sweet wheel right there. It is sweet. Check it around to the other side. So right off the bat, guys, this thing just looks super high quality. It really looks way better built than all the other Inmotions. The other Inmotions just didn't appeal to me. They were not fast. The shell build on them was just, it looked really thin, like thin plastic to me for some reason. But this thing just, it is outstanding the way this thing looks coming out of the box. I'm gonna have to do some riding to test and see. And just right off the bat, the one thing I can notice on this, there's really no grips on this wheel. And for a suspension wheel, I feel like it's gonna be absolutely a necessity to have some type of foot, something your foot can get under. If your foot can't get under something on a suspension wheel, I feel like you really can't use the suspension to your advantage. You can't have fun with the suspension. So with this wheel, just because there's no lever, there's no like pad that you can really nose your toes under on this wheel, I feel like it's gonna be, this wheel is definitely just, the suspension is made to make your normal, just everyday cruise a better experience. They didn't market this wheel at all to be something to go jump and to go, like, you know, just to go flying through the air on or anything like that, which Kingsong did. You know, that was really, with them putting suspension on the wheel, having the Kuji pad cutouts where your shoe just goes right in there. I mean, it fits right in that little toe area, and you can literally, if you're going down the road on the S18, you can just find a little pothole or whatever, or bump coming up, and you can just unweight off that suspension with those pads and just lift up and just like basically ollie. And however fast you're going, that's going to translate into distance. But with this thing, there's really just nothing much to grab onto, you see. And I'm going to have to do some testing on it. I rode it around the parking lot, I'm not going to lie. I rode it around the parking lot for a minute. I haven't done much testing on it, but from what I can tell, that's the one thing I just noticed. I was like, man, there's just nowhere to put, like, there's no pads right here. So I'm going to make something. It might not be the prettiest looking thing in the world, but I'm going to make some type of pads for this thing because it's a great wheel. It rides fabulous, for sure. In the little time I rode it so far, it rides absolutely outstanding. And I'm going to definitely have to get it out there and do some testing. I wasn't able to test this thing at all as to what I've got planned. So anyways, guys, this is just a quick unboxing. I'm going to give y'all a look around it real quick at some of the different features on it, where your charge port is, how you cut the thing on, whatnot, and then all the videos coming up, review. I'm going to have a full comparison of the S18 and the V11. I told y'all I would get these wheels and get this done for you, and I don't know how I ended up getting both of them at the same time, but I did. I have both the S18 and the V11 right now, so I'll be able to do a side-by-side tabletop comparison for you guys. Be able to actually ride these things and tell you exactly what kind of rider each wheel is for. And I feel like it's definitely something you're gonna have to break down. These are two different beasts, and I feel like it's incredible that these companies did this at the same time. They had two completely different approaches to the suspension system, and they came out at pretty much the same time. And I wonder if there was any leaks or anything like that between the two companies of hypothetical suspension wheels coming out and one being in the works, which made the other one go for it, you know. And I feel like both of them are great designs. I mean, both of them are well thought out, engineered designs by far. And it's just gonna be which one's better for longevity, which one is easier for more manufacturers to pick up and implement into wheels, and it's gonna be rider feedback. It's gonna be what we like, you know. This is where we make the difference, you know. So if you like the Kingsong, tell them you like the Kingsong. If you like the V11, tell them you like the V11. So I'm gonna have to get both of them out there side by side, do some more testing. I feel like this is a sweet wheel. It's a sweet looking wheel, high quality looking wheel. I mean, just high quality feeling wheel. I mean, it really is. It's super robust. I immediately get Z10 vibes when I see this wheel. I like with the way the plastic's made, with the way the shell is, with the way the headlight, like I immediately get Z10 vibes and Z10 quality out of this thing. And the Z10 was a really high quality, one of the most well-built wheels in my opinion. So I'm gonna show you guys this thing. So you turn it on right here at the top. There's a little button right here at the top. And what you're gonna wanna do is it's basically cutting it on like the DJI drones, if you ever cut one on. It's a short press and then a long press. So, no, I can't do it. Yeah, short press and then long press. And then you turn it on, and you have a full battery indicator on the top right here. I need to probably get it at a different level for you guys to see this. But you have running light always on right here. So this ring light stays on all the time during the day, which only downfall of this I can see is with this light always being on, I'm not sure if there's a way to turn it off in the app or anything, but you see, that's turning the light on. So that was just a running light, and it's insanely bright. And you hear the fan. That's the fan. It's relatively quiet in my house. But that's the fan for the headlight. And so the headlight is so substantial. I mean, this thing, you put your hand up to it, you can feel the little bit of heat coming right off that bulb. So they got a fan in here, and you can really hear that bad boy. And on the production models, it's going to be quieter. It will be quieter. They address that because, I mean, that's a little bit much right there, having that just buzzing. You can turn that off. So there you go, your fan's off now, and your main light's on. You just have your running light on. So I haven't checked to see how bright this is. Like if you're going into a dark room or something, say if you're late to a meeting or late to a class or something like that, and you got to push your wheel in, and it's a completely pitch dark room, and say they're giving a lecture, something's playing on a PowerPoint or something, and you got to get in there, and then you don't want to light up the whole room. I've been there before with the King songs. I've accidentally done it, and you can usually turn it off on most of them, you know. But with this, I don't think there's a way to really turn off this running light at all. It's just kind of on or off. So. And when that thing comes on, you hear it. You hear that bad boy, but it's sweet, man. I mean, that is so cool. When I first saw this wheel, I was like, they need to do like a, they need to make a copper colorway. Like imagine like a full vinyl wrap like copper version of this with like some steampunk stuff on it. Like imagine like steampunking this headlight right here. Like just make it. You can make this wheel really look cool if you wanted to do like a actual like a DIY project just for like a show wheel. You could do something really badass with this. The back of it is so cool. Like so the tail light looks sweet at night. This thing looks good riding at nighttime. It really, really does. I mean, riding behind this wheel, you notice a huge difference. I was riding behind this wheel on a Nikola. This thing in front of you, it just looks completely different. I mean, the headlight is just. It's 7 times brighter than like a standard Gotway Nikola or something like that. Maybe even brighter than that. Maybe even like 10 times brighter. But right here on the back is your charging ports. You got boom, boom, 2 charging ports right here. So you can, it comes with a standard, I think, 2.5 amp charger, and then you can plug 2 chargers in, and you're good to go. And I think this is a really good placement of the charging ports and the USB port. I think that's a really good idea having it in the back, because everything up front, as you know, tends to get messed up sometimes, and I think putting all this stuff in the back is a good idea. So you got your everything, all your charging ports and your USB port and stuff like that back here, sealed up, good to go. Good fender on here, so I don't think water is going to get up in here, and it's sealed off with this thing. And if you didn't know this was where the charging ports were, I mean, it'd take you forever to find. So let's see. Another thing to go over is the trolley handle. I really do like it a lot. Well thought out trolley handle. It has a little lever right here. So right here, you reach under here and just push that. It flips up. It's I'd say probably a 3 millimeter aluminum handle. It feels pretty solid, 3 millimeter thick, and it is hollow on the inside, but it does feel really solid. It feels solid. Has this nice rubber piece up here at the top to grab onto. I feel like this is a good looking trolley handle. You don't look like a cumbersome idiot somewhere like trying to negotiate this thing around pushing it. I think it is going to be a little bit low for some people. So for some people coming from maybe like the King Song 18XL or something like that, this might be a little bit low for you, or even the 16X. This might be a little bit low of a trolley handle for you. But you just flip that lever down. I think it's a really good design. All right, so the handle on the top right here, you reach down and you got a lever, just an easy lever to pull right here, and it disengages the wheel so it doesn't spin when you pick it up. Dang. Yeah, that thing is heavy. It's about to break my daggum coffee table, dude. Yeah, that's a heavy wheel right there for sure. So going over some specs real quick on this thing, the weight is 59.5 pounds, and I think that's one big thing that is just, it's the big insane difference in the V11 and the S18, you know, and it shows right there with the weight of the two wheels, kind of what one is meant for and what one isn't. So this thing is going to be your street cruiser, you know, 59.5 pounds. Got that weight, you know, you're sitting there with your long range, you can just sit back, cruise over potholes, whatever. But that, I mean, any weight stripped, if you're doing some tricks or whatever, doing some jumps, is absolutely nice, you know. Even my M Super V3S that I have, that I mainly use for like tricks and trail ridings and stuff like that, my old wheel that I put the M Super X board in, I took the trolley handle out of that. I literally stripped everything off of that thing I could that was extra weight. The trolley handle is like not even a half pound, but any extra weight on that thing, like if you're doing jumps or whatever, it really helps taking it off. And if it's not, for me, it was a wheel I'm not going to be pushing inside anywhere. So that's just how I feel about it for sure. Cruising speed on this thing, they say is 31 miles per hour, but there's just a feeling in my head that for some reason this thing is going to be faster than the King Song S18. I'll have to do a test of it, but I feel like I can, like, I just know there's something about this thing. Just the way, I feel something. I feel just that with having the more battery watt hours on this thing, I feel like I should be able to squeeze more speed out of it. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but I feel like it should go faster, and I have hope that this thing will go faster than 31 miles per hour. Charge time is 3 hours to 80% on this bad boy. Max speed on this thing is 1500 watt. Yeah, that'd be fun. Wouldn't that be fun? So the battery life on this thing is 1500 watt hours, and that's about 400 more watt hours than the S18. And you got to think about that. It's a good bit more, and it's going to keep you away from that throttling speed. You know, all the battery power in the world helps, and that's just going to be a little bit more there to keep you away from that throttling speed. And this thing, I think, throttles you down at like 30%, and the King Song will throttle you at 50%. Don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure that's the way it works. King Song started throttling at 50% with like the 16X, I think. With the 18XL, they didn't throttle until 30%. So I think this one will give you a lot more range before you are speed throttled. Alright, so it's your standard charger right here. Pull this little rubberized cover off. Plug it in. You can plug it into either port you want, and you're good to go. Put that back on there so rain and everything will stay out of there. This wheel has 70 millimeters of suspension travel. King Song S18 has 100 millimeters, but this thing is a little bit different the way it works. A little bit different of an approach for sure. Say a little bit, it's actually a lot different. So let's look at this. So this is where you're going to fill up suspension and get it tuned in for the way you want your ride to be. And this is a little bit more of a process, I will say, than the King Song S18 is right off the bat. The S18 is just this easy shock to get to. Hey, I'm way over here now. So the S18, easy to get to, shocks right in the back. Simple adjustments for one shock, you know, you're good to go. This, you got to match your air equal in both sides. So right now, I got it on 80 PSI. I think so you just unscrew this right here. They need to give you like a little tool, you know, like a key, like for, like, you know how for some boats how they'll have like a gas cap key or something like that. I think they should give you like a little something to get this thing tighter and to get it loose if you need to. Say in the wintertime if it's cold or something, I don't want to have to like cold finger get down here or whatever. But so this is the way this thing works. Basically, just use a normal bike pump. You want something with a gauge on it for sure. You want something with a gauge on it, or else you're gonna have to keep going back and forth with one of those little tire pressure checkers. So I recommend something with a gauge on it for sure. Plug this thing in like this. All right, and so you can see gauge right here. It got it about 80 psi. I could bring it a little bit closer, but for guys, when I first got on this wheel, there was some heavier riders than me. Not by much, but they had it at like 180 or something like that. Like, I mean, it was just it didn't feel much more different than having a just a standard hard axle, you know. So I was like, yeah, let's take it down to about 80 or whatever, and it feels really good now. I feel like 80 psi on this thing for a 130-pound rider is just about perfect. I'm gonna do some playing around with it, and it's weird though that like just how exact you have to be with this. You don't want one side to be more firm than the other, so you really have to get this right. You know, you got to look at your gauge, make sure it's really precise before you just wing it, you know. So a little bit finicky. I don't want to put any air into it right now or take any out because it feels right, and I really want to get some more miles on it the way it is before I go changing a lot of stuff, you know. I gotta feel how this wheel feels before I go changing stuff, and then once I get like an understanding of it, then I'll be able to go change stuff to my liking, you know. But tire pressure is another thing I gotta make sure is right for my liking on here. I might as well go ahead and check that. Definitely need some air out of this tire though. On these suspension wheels, you're sitting higher, so if you do any type of off-roading, you gotta think like well, with this one your pedal goes down a little bit more, but I feel like you are sitting higher at some point. And whenever you spring back up, you got to think about how high you are up, and your center of gravity is much higher. And if you're on gravel, you're just going to slide out. So I think taking air out of the tire, definitely. Yeah, that might be a little bit too squishy now, but we'll see. I think it's good. I think she's good, but that's how you do it. You just undo the bottom things, same on this side, just undo those two, pump it up, same exact PSI, and you're good to go. Anyways, dudes, it's been Chooch. I got to get this one on the trail too, take it out there and see how I like it. I did get a chance to ride this one, so like unlike the S18 unboxing, the S18 I just literally just unboxed that one right off the bat. This one I probably rode it probably about a mile. And it's different, dude. It's both of these wheels are so different, but I got a ton of talking points coming. I got to get out there and ride it. I think once I get some pads on this thing, even like some little karambit pads or something like that on the side, just something to get your toe under, I think that this thing is really going to shine. I think this wheel is just going to be fabulous, just like the S18 as well. The one thing I did notice right off the bat, though, there has to be some way to get that toe, to get your foot under something on the side of this thing. I mean, it absolutely has to be done. But anyways, dudes, it's been Chooch. If y'all enjoyed the video, throw it a thumbs up, and I will see y'all in the next one. Tons of videos coming out on this wheel, the S18, and then the big comparison of the two. I'm gonna go over everything about the two and which wheel is right for what style rider you are. You can pre-order the Inmotion V11 as well as all the other electric unicycles that are out right now. All the hot wheels, the Veteran Sherman, the S18, whatever. Use the link below, and it helps the channel and gives me a small kickback and helps me keep making these videos. I appreciate it, guys. The link below, guys, takes you straight to eWheels. It is an affiliate link. It helps the channel. You can pre-order the V11, the Veteran Sherman, the S18, and get all of the latest wheels there. The M Super Pros, all that stuff. Link below, guys. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next one.